What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Kaiza-Sama, and we are back with another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are going to be testing out the power of the new LR Goku Black, the new STR version, of course. This new tag unit is going to be probably one of the top characters in the game for the next following weeks. We do have a good friend unit to use for our showcase today, and then it took me a little while to actually pull my own STR LR Goku Black. So now we finally have a chance to really get into it. You know, I know it kind of was like prolonged from not pulling them earlier in the week, closer to when they actually dropped. But the more important thing is that we finally have them now. So that's what really matters. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know, you just got to take it as it is. But for the first turn here, we do have the friend unit. Next turn, we'll be seeing mine in action. But pretty much the physical Goku Black that brings the domain and the clone ability, he's going to be a great compatible, teammate as far as when you play with the newer Goku Black. That domain is definitely going to help him out. And then on top of that, the links. Now, to keep in mind with the actual free-to-play clones that came out not too long ago with this campaign as well, I do plan to do a separate video on them and actually showing the viability of just the new level that they brought upon free-to-play characters. We've never really had free-to-play characters this good, except for Bio Broly that dropped for the last worldwide or the last Tanabata celebration. It was pretty big when he dropped because it was like, okay, they actually dropped a free-to-play character that's good. And this is basically the same sense for these Goku Black clones. They are going to be very, very good. Now, one of the main things that you want to keep in mind is that they do pretty much work better when you have them all on the same team or you're playing with most of them. You know, and then you can sub out one or two with Zamasu and then the new Goku Black unit. But for the most part, if you can, and if you have pulled the new STR Goku Black, I would put him as the leader and then have the clones, you know, basically complement him. Excuse me. Now we do have, you know, links pretty high on my Goku Black. I think there's one that's still at 9, and then the rest are at 10. So we will definitely be working on that, of course. But as you can see, the links between the Goku Black clones are pretty good. You know, there's something to really take advantage of. Golly, I got something in my eye. Oh, that does not feel good. But Goku Black, I would also suggest putting a little bit of dodge into his kit. You know, you can either do it through the hidden potential system build-up, or you can do it by one of the equips. But they did actually dish out free equips to put onto Goku Black. So if you already, you know what I'm talking about, then, you know, hey, you're already early to the party. Now, as you saw, we had that output of 19 million from my Goku Black on the last turn, and we were able to just finish it up with 2 supers. That's one of the main things is that, you know, when you keep in mind with this Goku Black, he's going to have a very, you know, unique standing as far as the extreme team now. You know, beforehand, I feel like one of the categories that we absolutely needed help with the extreme team is definitely Future Saga. And the fact that we have a newer Goku Black that actually supports the rest of, you know, the Future Saga Extreme Class team, it's something that was very much needed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very glad that they were able to provide this newer tag unit. Of course, everybody would prefer if they would actually be able to fuse, but since they don't and they just have the fusion active, you know, it's pretty much like, okay, they do have the fusion active, but they also have Goku Black's, you know, active that is pretty powerful, you know, for those next following 4 turns. So that is something, like I said, to kind of keep in mind. I guess for like the main takeaway from that is that I would actually just use, you know, the friend unit Goku Black to initiate the Goku Black active from Goku Black Super Saiyan Rose, and then I would initiate the fusion on your own Goku Black unit. So that's, you know, just one thing that I would just like consider. Now, this physical Goku Black Rose, like I said, he's going to be a great unit to have on your team. If you can put more dupes into him, you know, I would definitely do that. Mine is at 55%. And on top of that, I have not even got his links up that high. So that's why mine is probably not going to perform the best that, you know, you guys are probably expecting him to. Now, the friend unit Goku Black, he's doing a great deal of damage. I can't even lie. And then I also have to include, I'm probably just going to include this in LR Goku Black into one of the future videos I plan to do on Future Saga Extreme Team. He has the limited time buffs right now, the same thing that they did to the fusions back around New Year's. So right now in LR Goku Black is really like, you know, the unit to use with this new Goku Black. Now, 4 turns has passed, and we can finally use the actives. Now, like I was saying, you can either use, you know, one active of Goku Black Super Saiyan Rose, or use the active of Zamasu. You can, you know, interchange. You can use, you know, fusion on Zamasu's and then switch back to Goku Black Super Saiyan Rose. So it will provide you that option, you know, just like with the other tag units. Now, the main thing to take in mind is, you know, like I was saying earlier, the active skill on Goku Black Super Saiyan. Damn, we took a little bit of damage. We're actually starting off with a, let's see, 23 mil on the output. We started out with 35 mil. You know, I noticed that 35 mil when we first hit. But like I was saying, one of the main things to keep in mind is that Goku Black's active skill is a tad bit better. I feel like it's a tad bit better than the Fusion Zamasu active skill on Zamasu's end. And the reason why I say that is because the buff that you get from Zamasu's end is more so something that suffices you for that following turn when you're actually attacking with the Fusion Zamasu. But Goku Black, his active skill actually behooves you for the next 4 turns. So, like I was just saying, if you have the new unit yourself, and then you actually are using a friend unit too, you can basically use and take advantage of both those actives. I would use the Goku Black active skill first for those 4 turns, and then you're gonna come up on your Goku Black character on that next following turn. And, you know, when that happens, bam, you get the buff on your Fusion Zamasu from the other Goku Black. Now, I am pretty hyped because we are initiating the domain of Super Saiyan Rose, and we're also getting the clones. So that's going to be pretty hype, and that's going to give us a huge advantage as well. And that's the thing that a lot of people are saying is that physical Rose, his domain, and just him in general, he's now back in the, you know, whole discussion when we talk about Future Saga Extreme Class Allies. So it's pretty insane to think that, you know, his viability has kind of went back up there, and I'm glad that it did. Honestly, you know, I feel like I hate when they drop characters and they're only relevant for just a certain amount of time, and then bam, they're, you know, just belittled by another current release or something like that. So I'm glad that Physical Rose can kind of like have his place back in, you know, being viable for the team. Man, these animations are crazy, bro. Like, Goku Black probably has one of the best animations out of, you know, part 1 for sure. Okay. Now this rotation is pretty cheese, yeah. This rotation is cheese as hell, bro. So, hold on. Did we use... So we have all 7 links right there. with the LR Goku Black. Now we're gonna go ahead and use his clone ability, so we can go ahead and get that out of the way. Yes, sir. So now we have the 3 Goku Black Rose clones. They all have the scythe, and we can go in. This is how I like to see attacks unfold. You know, this Goku Black, LR Janemba, the new 10th anniversary GT Super Saiyan 3 Goku, they all have these different, you know, transforming actives to where you can, you know, attack as like all 3 slots as, you know, one giant character or one clone character, and then you come back to that same turn, you know, that you left off on before you even used it. Let me see. We'll be fine though. Yeah, I'm not even worried. This is pretty much like the best time to be taking supers from the boss, so you're not, you know, being affected in the sense that, you know, you're dying super easily. So I would keep that in mind as well. And then, like I said, you know, in LR Rose right now, he pretty much has the buffed up stats. So that's going to help you in the sense of dealing more damage and having, you know, a little bit more defense as well. Okay. He dealt some pretty decent damage. Yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and use the Zamasu active. So let's go ahead and use it and see what Fusion Zamasu can really do. Pretty good. Pretty good. Just straight 999 all over the board. That's what you want to see. Now we're basically just going to switch back to Goku Black, Super Saiyan Rose. And I did pop a Whis, but I feel like we didn't even need to use it. So I don't really see it as, you know, like a help to us, honestly, because I feel like I said, we really didn't even need to use it. I just used it for like a fail safe, you know, because on this showcase, I don't want him to die. I've already attempted this once and we did die. So I was like, you know what? Last minute, you know, let me pop a little Whis, man, just in case. But, ooh, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. These attack stats that are getting buffed up by the domain and these different actives taking place, like, this is what you really want to see. Come on with it. What you gonna do? See, 33. Bring it with. Zamasu cracked me up, bro. And he showed up and just held that motherfucker down and just like was like, no, we're both gonna get hit, motherfucker. I was like, yo, Zamasu is wildin', bro. Like, this man does not give a fuck. Okay. So we still got our domain up. Okay, so we got 2 more turns. Got some good links. Yeah, I need to get Physical Rose his links up, because once I do, I feel like that's when we're really gonna see his full potential. Come on with it. Bro, that shit is crazy. Yeah, that's what I like to see right there. That's what I like to see. So as you can see, you know, when you build the right team, you have the right placement with the slots and everything, you can, you know, come out victorious if you know what you're doing. Let's go. Now, like I was saying earlier as well, Goku Black, his Super Saiyan Rose, his active, is now going to help us for the next following 4 turns. Even though we've already used the Fusion Zamasu active on my character, you know, for the just like showcase sake, he's, you know, for the next following turns for us to actually defeat the boss, that's, you know, where that all is going to really count, you know, as far as like helping us out. Going in with 49 million. Jeez. He almost got him. Now we're going to eat this real quick. I eat those for breakfast, nickel. Let's go. Now, physical Rose, I'm not expecting him to do too much. Really just need to, like, finish out the rest of the turn. And, you know, we have my STR Rose to actually end off on. So, you know, we're basically just going to wait on that. Come on. Ugh. See, that's really the only thing with these clones, man, is that, you know, like the beforehand, you know, slot placement and, you know, when it depends on like the super that you're taking and all that, you know, these clones, you definitely got to watch out. Let me see. I feel like the AGL Rose clone that you see right here, he is the one, you know, out of the clones that has more of that dodge capability. So I do like him a lot more than most of the other clones. Him, the STR clone, and probably the physical and the int clone are probably like my favorite ones. But we're gonna go ahead and actually be able to finish with my Rose being the one that deals the final blow. I'm pretty hyped for this, pretty hyped. But, you know, you guys got to let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this guy. You know, we have an EZA coming up next week for the NLR Fusion Zamasu, I'm pretty sure. Look at that, finishing with that 999. Come on, man. You can't touch that man, bro. You can't touch him. Let me know down in the comments, though, what you guys think about this, man. You know, I know a lot of people were directing hate towards the Part 1 campaign before we even saw the details. And then after we saw the details and the animations, everybody was like, oh, they're actually good. Like, I really want them, dude. So, man, the Dokkan community. All right, you guys, let's get into the kit and the details on Goku Black, Super Saiyan Rose plus Zamasu and their new tag unit. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is that with the meta that's going on right now in the game and, you know, all the events that are going to be coming out within the near future, these guys are definitely going to be up there for top 2 characters in the game. Now, they do have the super boss category for the leader skill. Ki and HP goes up by 4, then attack and defense goes up by 220%. And, excuse me, one of the things to really keep in the front of your mind is that each of these tag characters is going to have their own purpose, and they're also going to have their own, you know, they're really their own moments to where they're going to help you out in whatever battle that you're going into. Now, from what we can see, they do have a hell of a lot of categories because of, you know, the whole tag reversible exchange feature that they have. And that's going to be something that's going to, you know, go along being a huge help for us in the long run, because a lot of these tag characters, you know, even Vegito and Gogeta, they do have a lot of different categories that, you know, makes them viable on a lot of different teams. Now, when we take a look at the passive skill, attacking defense goes up by 200%. He then receives the additional Ki +2 per Ki sphere obtained. Attacking defense goes up by 80%, and attacks are effective against all types when all allies include Goku Black. Now, per Extreme Class Ally, Future Saga Ally on the team, attack and defense goes up by 50% up to 150. Chance of performing a crit and damage reduction goes up by 20% up to 60%. When all allies attacking in the same turn in our Extreme Class or Future Saga, he guards against all attacks. And then when activating the active skill or when attacking with a key of 18 or more, the attack goes up by 200%. Then he launches the additional that has a great chance of becoming a super. Then when receiving an attack, defense goes up by 180. And then starting on the fourth turn, Zamasu appears for the Reversible exchange. Now, when Zamasu appears, that's usually when his active skill can be used and when Zamasu's active can be used as well. You can, just interchange. Now, his is the Holy Light grenade, starts on the fourth turn, massively raises attack, temporarily causes ultimate damage to the enemy. All attacks become critical hits, and Super Boss category allies, attack and defense goes up by 15%, additional defense of 10% for allies belonging to Future Saga for 4 turns. So this is where Goku Black's active really comes into play and really provides the helping hand for you in the end, because his active skill is basically going to set up the next 4 turns for your team, So if you have a weaker Goku Black unit, he's basically going to be helped out from this active skill that you use. Now, when we take a look at Zamasu's side of the character, same, with all the leader skill and all that. Now, with his passive, he can perform the reversible exchange, blah, blah. Key goes up by 7. Attack and defense goes up by 200% with a high chance of performing a crit, and he guards against all attacks. When attacking, attack and defense goes up by 200%. Future Saga category allies and extreme allies damage reduction rate goes up by 10. And then when activating the active skill or when attacking with 20 or more key, attack goes up by 200%. Then launches the additional super. Attack and defense goes up by 300. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is that Zamasu's side is the one that has the fusion. He massively raises attack, temporarily causes ultimate damage to the enemy. Key goes up by 4, attack and defense goes up by 40%, or really just the attack goes up by 40. This is, like I said, the effect that the fusion gains, and Zamasu's end is going to be the side, in which you really want to kind of wait. And if you're using a friend Goku Black unit as well, then I would use one Goku Black unit for, the fusion, and then one for the active skill attack. But that's pretty much how I would, use them. So take that, as you will, with the setup that you guys have personally. But, pretty much overall, they are going to be top character in the game or top 2 character in the game. So let me know what you guys think by the end of the video. Were you guys able to pull them? What do you think about their kit? What do you think about their placement in the tier list, right now and coming up within the next couple months or so? Do you see it changing drastically, or do you see them actually holding their top spot up there? So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.